Chatters, what is good? Today we are finally back with BTS and we are listening to BTS's very first album or EP, Too Cool for School. Guys, the runtime on this is about 15 minutes or so. I think it's a little bit over actually. I think 6 songs. I want to say I didn't look at the track list too much to be honest. But we're here. We're finally getting into another BTS album. It's been about a month. Has it? Yeah, it's been about a month. Just over a month now. And so we're finally back. But anyways, my army, please do like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me grow. And let me know where I should go from here. Should I go in chronological order? Should I jump to the middle? You know. But I'm definitely excited to see, how far they've come, but also see what kind of gave them their start and propelled them into some sort of fame, right? But yeah, like I said, like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get straight into Too Cool for School Song 1 intro featuring DJ Frizz.
We're now going to progress to some steps which are a bit more difficult. Ready?
It's the pacer test?
And begin.
Okay. Okay. Freeze. The freeze. Okay. 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 Interesting little intro track. Obviously, it's their very first kind of title track intro thing. And it really just is setting the scene. I heard the little, obviously DJ, was it Freeze? Was on there. There's that little like DJ thing. I don't know what that's called. But that's just kind of how I'm expecting the rest of this album EP to sound. Just in that kind of general realm. I know BTS is very hip hop heavy, especially getting their start. At least that's what you guys told me in the comments. But yeah, so that's just kind of the general direction I'm hoping and anticipating for the rest of for what else is to come. But anyways, let's get straight into it again. We are Bulletproof Part 2. Oh, real quick. Did they have any singles come out before this album EP? I'm just gonna call it an EP. Because this is part 2, so. Okay, I have the translated lyrics coming up right here, and whatnot, but I think it'll look kind of weird on the screen with how my thing is formatted. So if you guys want that in the future, the translated lyrics alongside it, or maybe I can find an extension that, translate the lyrics, please do let me know. But for now, I'm just going to do this. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to see regarding that. Anyways, let's get back into it.
We are bulletproof. Bulletproof. 이름은 정국. Skit은 전국. 학교 대신 연습실에서 밤새 춤을 노래 불러내. 너희가 놀 때 난 꿈을 집도 하며 참을 참아가며 매일 밤새 볼펜을 잡네. 아침 해가 뜨는 뒤에 난 눈을 감네. 이젠 잣대와 수많은 반대 속에서 부숴버린 나의 한계. 그 반에 재수족 회사에 컨택된 속칭 노래 못해 불당한 너에게를 불어내 타이틀을 쌓지. Everywhere I go, everything I do.
Okay.
보여줄게 칼을 갈아왔던 만큼 날 무시하던 많은 사람들 이젠 we shout it out. 나같이 해봤다면 돌을 던져.
Ooh. Like click click. Ooh. Like Bulletproof.
We are bulletproof. 아직 아무것도 없죠. 역술 연습생 and rapper man. Yeah, I don't know, that's nothing. 꼭 믿어. 하지만 이제 필요 없어졌지. 넌 아직도 아마추어, 난 메이저. 축구를 계속해. Rap monster, 말처럼 금을 같이 무슨 비트는 간에 나 싹 집어 삼켜. 진실한 이름값 얘들아 이리 와 이리 와. 난 아이돌의 반전 하하.
Okay.
무신분이 형들은 불가능하다 해지 boy. 똑똑히 봐 이거를 파서버려 마치 표시고 안 파서보 다 이제 되니 boy. Everywhere I go, everything I do. 난 보여줄게 칼을 갈아왔던 만큼. 날 무시하던 많은 사람들 이젠 oh 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 oh. Shout
Okay.
it out. 나같이 해봤다면 돌을 던져. We go hard, 우리 겁이 없어. Click click bang bang.
Just sing it like.
We are bulletproof. We are bulletproof. Bulletproof.
Okay. Bulletproof. Definitely have things to say. Definitely. Okay, I definitely have some things to say. I like the song. I did like the song a lot. Some things I did notice just from my initial, kind of comparisons I'm gonna draw from obviously their most recent and this. They definitely sound just a little more younger. I do want to say though that like in terms of quality and like production and all that compared to the most recent, it's definitely similar. They've obviously upped their game over the years and come into their sound more and more. But that does not take away from this whatsoever. I do like this song, and it's very, if I could describe it in like one word, it would be attention grabbing. I suppose that's two. But you guys get my point. This was very well, their first album, their first kind of reason people came to listen to them. I know kind of in especially early on in that K-pop world, I'm not going to generalize them in that, but in that K-pop world, people would listen to groups just because they're a new group. And so, yeah, this was very well people's first initial impression to BTS. And so, yeah, it's very attention grabbing. There's ad-libs everywhere. There's unique sounds. There's crazy flows. There's like sirens going off and weird beeps and buzzes. And so I like that. It's very attention grabbing. It makes you intrigued for what's to come. And, for a group as big as BTS, if I was listening to this, back then, would I necessarily think they're going to be the global, superstars that they are today? I mean, I guess it's actually way too kind of early to say that, but you know what I mean? It's just like, you definitely can hear their sound in it from, and even a newbie like Army who's literally only listened to one album, you definitely see them. It's definitely reminiscent to what I do know from them. That I will say. And yeah, this is very attention grabbing, and alongside the intro, it has me intrigued. I'm just curious to see what's to come. So yeah, that's kind of, I'm trying to go into this like as a first like initial reaction without like previous knowledge, if that makes sense, without like a bias of it being like, yeah, this is BTS, the biggest group ever, right? But yeah, I definitely like this. Okay, sorry, this video is a little all over the place, but yeah, and also sorry, Jin, for cropping you up the screen a little bit, but yeah.
대박이 었다니까 그때는 그게.
내가 키쇼는요.
플라이.
알고 있어.
Okay.
뮤직비디오 그거
흰색 와이셔츠에 빨간 넥타이.
To call that
얼마 따위?
sixth grade.
놀래가지고
안 어울리지.
Okay.
야, 훔쳤다 이제 가자. 아니, 가자. 아이고, 훔쳤다고 그래요. 야, 오늘 째요. 째.
안 가.
시원하게 한번 째봅시다.
너무 안 가.
그래가지고 레몬 그래가지고 에픽하게 좀 더 입어봐.
아니 그래가지고 그거 듣고 이제 딱 시작했다니까요 제가. 말 그대로 플라이 했다는 거
이
아니에요.
슈가님 또 그거 듣고 랩 시작했지.
다 똑같아 진짜. 진짜 다
똑같았어.
똑같았어. 그러면은 뭐 우리는 플라이 들을 때 우리 호흡은 뭐 했는데?
뭐가 졌나?
난 또 이제 랩하는 사람들과 이제 또 남다르게 또 나는 춤에 미쳐 있었지. 그렇지. 사고나 댄스. 뭐 지휘도 마찬가지일까?
아니 당연하죠. 혹시 여기서 무용을 꿈꿔본 사람은 없나?
우영은 없어.
방금 정적 들었냐?
한 명도 없어요.
방금 다들 고민했다고.
1초 정적.
태영이 너 꿈이 뭐였어?
저 3년간 색소폰 했었어요.
근데 왜 지금 안 해?
색소폰?
입이 아파서.
입이 아파요?
가식적이다.
저 입이 아팠거든요.
입이 많이 아팠나 보다.
엄청난 이유다.
마음이 아프다. 야.
아니 그 진영 우리 형은 꿈이 뭐였어요 형은?
나야 뭐 그냥 우리 아빠처럼 7시에 출근하고 저녁 6시에 퇴근해서 딱 마누라가 차려주면 밥 먹고
나도 그게 제일 좋다.
이게 좋은 거 같긴 해. 이게 짱이지.
척이더라.
힙합이 다 뭔성이에요. 그게 짱이지.
그렇다고 힙합을 버려요 왜요?
시원하게 버렸구만. 시원하게 버렸어.
야, 우리 아빠 욕하지 마.
버리고 그래?
우리 아빠 욕하지 마.
네네네.
정국아 너는 꿈이 뭐였냐?
그래 뭐.
저요? 저 기억 잘 안 나는데.
이놈의 새끼를 써받으라 뭐하노?
안에 들어갔자 없애보는 거 해야겠네. 있으니까 들어가.
알겠습니다.
Okay. Very, very interesting. The skit. Circle room talk. Okay. Yeah, I see it. I like seeing this kind of stuff because this is not something that is typically in more like Western albums, right? It's just, seeing a group, in this case BTS's like personality just kind of unfold, obviously in context with the album as well. The whole too cool for school thing. I do like it. It's an interesting little touch that adds more character to them. It adds more depth, layer, etc. Okay. I like that. It's, like I said, it's not something I generally see in albums that, I have listened to in the past on this channel. But I'm glad it was included. It's totally something I like, and I think, like I said previously, it's a good kind of introduction to the group, especially this early on into their career. And yeah, it's a unique touch that, obviously us, to kind of group the whole Western kind of music thing together, you don't see, right? You don't see that in form of a skit, so yeah, I like seeing the characters come to life and have personality just beyond the music as well, while also fitting into the whole theme of the album. Too cool for school. Okay, next song. Okay, we are back on Apple Music. I have my translated lyrics pulled up on the other screen again, just for a reminder. I was thinking, does YouTube, will they auto caption this into, let me know in the comments, because that might just be the way to do it. I'll beg you guys to put subtitles on and then just have the translated lyrics off screen, because it kind of looks ugly in my opinion, but I don't know, whatever you guys think is best. Anyways, let's go into song 4, No More Dream. Okay. Okay.
없어 엄마 지금 독서실 간다니까
Okay.
너의 길을 가라고 단 하루를 살아도 뭐라도 하라고 나야 가본 적 왜말 못하고 있어 공부는 하기 싫다면서 학교
Crazy flow.
이거 받은 거야 준비하는 벌써 설정들은 제발 좀 너희만 살아가지고 유리 멘탈 보이 스톱 자신에게 물어봐 언제 네가 열심히 노력했냐고 꿈은 뭐래 야마 내 꿈은 뭐래 야마 내 꿈은 뭐래 네 꿈은 그거래 거짓말이야 서툴 라이어 심이야 비싼 차이야 왜 자꾸 딴 길을 가래 야 너나 잘해 제발 강요하지 말아줘 내 꿈에 뭐래 내 꿈에 뭐래 뭐래
I like this hook a lot. It's so unique. Little build up. I like this hook a lot. La la la. La 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 la.
살아가는 법을 몰라 날아가는 법을 몰라 결정하는 법을 몰라 이젠 꿈꾸는 법도 몰라 노래 떠났다 이제 춤을 춰봤자 다시 꿈을 꿔봤다 너 꿈을 대지 마 춤을 대지 마
Such a liar.
To all the youngsters without dreams.
Okay. Banger. I don't know. With that one, I was just kind of mesmerized, to be honest. I was literally just that hook. Like I was there from the beginning, but once it kind of flowed and like had that little build up to the hook, I was just in my own world, bumping my head. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely reminiscent to why they are so big. Obviously, like I was saying, I don't necessarily see like them being, you know, biggest group of all time. And that's not to take away from them in this early stage. But you can imagine. I feel like it's just one of those things you can't really imagine if you're back in 2013 listening to this and propelling into that level. But you definitely see the talent. You definitely see there's something there. And yeah, like I was saying, it's definitely reminiscent. That's not to take away from them. I mean that in the like highest utmost regard, to be honest. No More Dream, you know. I like the kind of what they convey as well, kind of like challenging society's pressure. How do I word that? Like to follow what is safe instead of like going after like a personal kind of dream or goal, but you know, the typical kind of foundation that is set from the get-go. You know, I like it. I like what they're conveying, and obviously that worked out for them. You know, the group that definitely worked out for them. You know, going after their goals, going after their dreams, not following that societal kind of pathway. I suppose that's the best way to put it. But yeah, I like the theme of this album so far. I like the concept. I like what they're getting after. So, oh, interlude. Okay. Okay. Is this gonna fade in to the next song? I don't know. I like this a lot though. It's interesting seeing how they are when they were a newer group and younger, because they still sound great. Okay. Interesting little interlude. It doesn't seem to fade into the next song like a little, you know. But yeah, for an album that's already this short, it's like, what can you really say about an interlude? But obviously, if there's some like sort of like specific meaning behind it that I don't really know, please do let me know. But it's atmospheric. As to the cinematic kind of layer, I would say definitely. Okay, like song 6. Song 6. Ooh, little R&B sound. Kinda.
좋아요 남발하는 처음 보는 저 남자 누구야? 아 맞다 나 이제 남자친구 아니지 자연스레 네 번호 눌렀잖아 전화나 카톡 하자니 꼭 치는 것 같고 뭐라도 안 하면 나 신경도 안 쓸 것 같아 싫어요 버튼은 없는데 싫어져 30몇 명 중 하나가 되는 게 여기도 좋다고 저기도 좋다고 한 번만 놀자고 왜 그리 겁나고 어수비 이제 내 것도 아닌데 왜 뺏기는 것 같은지 넌 아웃이 참 잘 사네 눈꼴 시려우니까 노는 것 좀 살살해 목까지 올라온 저 줄에 삼키고 오늘도 좋아요 누르지 넌 남이 되고 오히려 더 좋아 보여
Okay. Okay.
친구 놈이늘은 좋아요로 보이는 네 얼굴은 훨씬 좋아 보여 새 남친과 찍은 사진 속 택 덕분에 추억 속으로 난 백 스페이스 그 세상은 어느새 다들 멈춰 있는데 난 왜 여전히 그 시간에 걸쳐 있는데 넌 내 생각을 할까 고민하며 좋아요를 누를까 말까 수십 번을 반복해 너의 마음은 마치 단두대 어처럼 나를 싹둑가차 없이 잘라냈지만 난 도깨비 감투 몰래 다가가 너의 일상생활은 맨날 보내 그때마다 머릿속은 108번 내 oh shit 내 생각은 할까 고민하며 좋아요를 누르지 말자 넌 남이 되고 오히려 더 좋아 보여 pretty woman 얄밉게도 여전히 넌 좋아
I like this.
요즘에 어떻게 지내고 있나 궁금해 보니 좋아요가 됐나 나 없이 잘 사는 네가 왜 생각났지 찾아온 건 한심한 나도 누르고 갈게 네그 위에 난 요즘 너 없이 이렇게 지내 넌 남이 되고 오히려 좋아 보여 pretty woman
Cool, wanna be loved. Okay. See, just real quick, it's kind of hard, like, following the translated lyrics on another screen and then, you know, listening to this and kind of, like, being, like, actively engaged or, like, speaking in between, you know. But what I do want to say is that it's funny how with an album like this, it really gets into that world of, like, the Too Cool for School, or even just, like, school kind of themes in general. It's funny how, like, in our very first song, not counting the intro, We Are Bulletproof Part 2, it's, like, kind of to sum it up in, like, a sentence, it's, like, BTS announcing that, or, like, pushing out that they refuse to be ignored, you know. It's that loud, aggressive, and performance heavy, where it's like, yeah, it's in your face, and they grab your attention, they capture it, and then 10 minutes later, they can get into something like this, like where it's super slow, laid back, and then it's mature in the way of, like, them capturing that feeling of, like, heartbreak and, like, kind of longing sadness after a relationship, you know. It captures those themes of, like, heartbreak, jealousy, and it's very mature for something, you know, they made so early on into their careers when, you know, they were younger. I don't know the specific ages of the group, to be honest, in this time, 2013, but I can do the math, right? But yeah, you know, kind of exploring that personal, like, emotional attachment and, like, difficulty of letting someone go after a relationship, you know. I like how, you know, we shift the tides as we get further into the album, where, like I said, it focuses on that lingering kind of sadness and even the likes of, like, comparison, you know. And we see that so often today, and I see that with myself, even not kind of in the regard of what they depict, but, like, I mean, I guess actually as well, just, like, the kind of divide social media kind of creates, you know, as time goes on. It's nice to see a group this big kind of, obviously early on into their career, not nowhere near as big, but kind of depict insecure themes, to put it lightly, because it makes, you know, celebrities and, you know, superstars to their level depict this sense of, like, insecurity as, like, them being human too, you know, even beyond this, like, super high pedestal we put them to. It's crazy seeing someone like Jimin portray a sense of, like, insecurity, you know, when, like I said, you see them to such a high pedestal and such a light. It's kind of refreshing and just adds that more, like, human nature to them, that human element that you don't see with celebrities nowadays, superstars nowadays. So I do like that, although, like I said, it was early into their career, but the point still stands. It definitely still stands, and it's something that's, I mean, obviously true to them today, I would say, from what I know of them. Something, you know, that everyone can relate to as well in some kind of way. You can take a song like this and put it into your personal life, think about it, think on it a little bit, and have an experience or a relationship or whatever it may be, that is reminiscent to this song. So I like that as well. But yeah, I think that was our final, like, actual song. I think we have one more. Okay, Circle Room Cipher. Oh, is this an out, or is this a song?
야, 내가 죽이는 비트 하나 써왔어. 맨날 찍지만. 근데 다 예상한 말이야. 한다는 너희가 해. 얼마나 잘 찍었는지. 야, 나 춘다.
Okay. Okay. I wish I had lyrics for the skit part. Okay.
전부 내 뒤에 오늘도 새끈한 이 비트 위에 이리 갔다 저리 갔다 혓바닥을 놀려 너희 랩은 다 졸려
Okay.
이 CD 다시 돌려 우리 음악들은 여성분을 울려 우리 이름은 방탄 지금 너네 입에서 나오는 건 감탄? I'm a boy 먼지 I'm a boy 차가 근데 내 목소리는 서탄 너는 일탄 나는 사탄 나는 너를 치유하는 이 같아 네 랩은 돼지 나는 찰록 너는 리본 돼지 나는 발로 캄팔로 꼰대 롤렉스 be always 나한테 어울리는 단어네 근데 너한테 어울리는 건 좀생이 아니면 폼페이 그냥 폭발했지 상대를 좀 가려 아야 근데 나 좀 오줌 마려
Okay.
오늘도 가천의 프리스타일 래핑 이 장단 맞춰 명품 랩쭉 세팅 탑 MC 답게 MCM의 구찌 알렉산더 맥 뭐든지 랩 처음 할때 지금은
Okay.
달라 비트에 걸음하네 난 여름 안에 타파 모두 차파 전국 날봐 날봐 날봐
Okay. A little short, but
할게요 cipher
it's freestyle.
랩들 잘 들었어 남준이 형 가사 이제는 철 들었어 형들 이제 랩 실력이 고만고만해 칭찬이야 이제는 그만해 내 앞에 호비 형 긴장하고 있어 뭐가 떨려 가서 김장하고 있어 대구 사투리 살아있네 윤기 형 살아있네 제이홉이 나와줘 제이홉 제이홉 나온다 이건 우리 음악 중에 스킬 여기서 보여줄게 내 한 칼 스킬 내 이름 제이홉 멋있어서 흔적이 남지 like 캣포스 야댐 광주가 난 힙합 이거 전라도 랩의 첫 시작 모두 털어줄게 거덜나게 우린 멋져 불어 허벌나게
Okay. Okay. I hope YouTube has translations.
내 이름은 잘생김 근데 내 별명 찐따 최근 들었다가 빠졌지 이제 내 별명은 찐 그래서 내 예명 찐 내 이름은 지민 여기 보컬 팀들 내 랩의 지림 태어난 이름대로 냄새나 좀 비림 내가 누군지 좀 알아봐
Okay. Oh, that. Jimin. A little short.
안 할게요
Okay. Our outro track.
네 사이프도 끝나는데야 밥 어때 밥 먹으러 갈까? 밥만 없어요
V got dissed. Wow.
내가 시원하게 쏘게 나랑 밥 안 먹어
야 버려 거부터 야 수고해 남주아 감사합니다
Okay. Okay. That outro is perfect. It's very like what you'd see in school with young kids just like freestyle. It's that's what I think of, that's core memories of middle school, is kids sitting at a table just freestyling when there's nothing to do. That's literally exactly that, and just captures that memory perfectly for me. And yeah, it just kind of makes sense in the whole context of the album as well, right? It's a raw, super loose, personal kind of I guess intimate feeling, it really captures that atmosphere in a less polished way that we saw previous in the album, but in the sense of school. like I said, it gives that like intimate feeling, and it's just like the cherry on top for an ending for an album that is, you know, half of them are skits and interludes and whatnot. But yeah, I like the trading of verses naturally, and it just kind of shows their chemistry and you know, the dialogue within each. I really hope there's translations and whatnot. But but yeah, I mean, it just represents the group's dynamic to a T. And even early on, you can tell that this is a dynamic that was meant to stay, meant to last, and obviously is a part of the reason why they are so big as well. And yeah, it just kind of emphasizes to me like authenticity. And yeah, I mean, the outro definitely gives me that feeling of like them in the studio, you know, creating a song, right? And you know, it's just that authenticity that shows that they're kind of here to stay. Whether you think it was going to be to the level they are at today or not, you know, they were obviously meant to be a prominent group, let alone the BTS we know today. So yeah, that was Too Cool for School by BTS. That was their first ever album kind of release. And yeah, I like this. It's just kind of that whole concept. It's loose and chaotic in a way that just fits the being the Too Cool for School, the school theme. You know, there's weird sounds in there. There's you know, laughter in the ad libs, right? There's tracks where there's dialogue in the middle. There's interludes that is literally like has sounds of like crumpling paper. You know, it just really kind of fits that dynamic, fits that atmosphere. And yeah, I mean, from song to song, kind of skipping over the interludes, skits, etc. You know, we have songs where it's like announcing their presence, being in your face, being loud, kind of demanding your attention. And then it goes into a song like No More Dream, where it drips a little more emotionally and gets more thematic, I would say. It gets, you know, kind of discovers their passion, and kind of pushes into that kind of like societal role. And they're like, we followed our dream, and like criticizes kind of the system that's already set up. You know, it kind of gives off that like schoolboy rebellion kind of vibe thing that, you know, is a prominent theme throughout, you know, people's lives. And you know, it even like delves into a little bit of insecurity that we see into the next song. But like, to stick with No More Dream, it shows that kind of feel of failure or like disappointing, or, you know, that kind of thing. The thing that just like being a student can kind of morph you into it. You know, it's just like, it's easy to follow kind of typical roles in life. But obviously they kind of strayed away from that. And then to get into like, you know, that is like just kind of the epitome of like teensty schoolboy angst, you know, or just school aged angst. You know, it goes into the heartbreak, jealousy, insecurity, and I like that a lot. Like I was saying, it shows that they're human. And then this outro, like I was saying as well, just really fits that school vibe, right? Free time with your friends. But yeah, BTS, you could tell that they were meant to stay. Definitely that they were meant to stay. And I just kind of like that not unfinished, but like it is unfinished to the sense of like the production of the previous songs. It just shows that kind of hungry energy, which is a part of them and shows why they're so big today. But yeah, that was BTS Too Cool for School. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, because I really did like this. I know it was a little all over the place, kind of wonky in parts. Sorry for that, but you know, we're learning. But yeah, where do you guys think I should go from here with BTS, especially now that I've kind of seen their start a little more? Do you guys think I should continue in chronological order, maybe jump to the middle, or, you know, you guys know better than me, Army. But yeah, thank you guys for being so supportive as well. And yeah, expect more BTS very soon. Thank you guys again. Please do like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces, deuces, deuces.